Formula One just confirmed new qualifying format that shocks F1 drivers. The world of Formula One just threw us a curveball that has drivers and fans alike buzzing with anticipation. Can you guess what it is? That's right, a groundbreaking new qualifying format that promises to shake up the grid and redefine the racing experience. You won't want to miss this. So without further ado, let's dive into the thrilling new F1 qualifying format for the 2023 season. Are you ready to have your mind blown? For all you F1 fanatics out there, prepare yourself for a roller coaster ride as we unravel the details of this game-changing update. How will this affect your favorite drivers? Will it level the playing field or create new rivalries? Stay tuned to find out. F1 Sprint. What's changed? Let's start by understanding the F1 Sprint concept itself. Imagine the excitement of T20 cricket match, where every moment is action-packed and the stakes are always high. That's precisely the adrenaline rush F1 Sprint aims to deliver. It's a 100-kilometer dash to the checkered flag with no pit stops, unless of course a driver needs urgent repairs. The goal is simple, pure unadulterated racing that keeps fans on the edge of their seats. Now, you might remember F1 Sprint making its debut in the 2021 season, but guess what? For 2023, Formula One has upped the ante by increasing the number of F1 Sprint events to 6, starting with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the spectacular Baku Street Circuit. More races mean more excitement, and we can't wait to see how it all unfolds. But that's not all. The F1 Sprint weekends have also undergone a makeover to maximize the thrill factor. You'll notice some significant changes to the practice and qualifying sessions. The weekend will kick off with FP1 on Friday, followed by the first qualifying session, which determines the grid for Sunday's Grand Prix. Saturday is now all about the F1 Sprint, with the introduction of a second, shorter qualifying session known as the Sprint Shootout. This innovative format replaces the previous 1-hour practice session and sets the grid for the sprint. As a result, Saturday became an intense standalone event, with the Sprint Shootout and F1 Sprint taking center stage, completely independent of the Grand Prix outcome. New qualifying format, Sprint Shootout. Now that we've covered the F1 Sprint changes, it's time to dive into the heart of the matter, the brand new qualifying format featuring the Sprint Shootout. The weekend will now be split into 2 separate qualifying sessions, the traditional qualifying on Friday and the much anticipated Sprint Shootout on Saturday. So what exactly is the Sprint Shootout, and how does it affect the weekend? Let's break it down. The Sprint Shootout is a shorter, more intense qualifying session that takes place on Saturday morning, replacing the previous scheduled 1-hour practice session. Its sole purpose is to set the grid for the F1 Sprint, making Saturday an action-packed day dedicated to this thrilling event. The format of the Sprint Shootout follows the traditional qualifying structure, but with a twist. Each segment is shorter, with Q1 lasting 12 minutes, Q2 for 10 minutes, and Q3 clocking in at just 8 minutes. The shorter duration is balanced by 7-minute breaks between segments, allowing for nail-biting excitement as drivers battle for the best grid positions. Now let's talk about the tire rules for each phase of the Sprint Shootout. New tires are mandatory for every segment, with medium compounds required for Q1 and QT, and softs for Q3. The shorter Q1 allows drivers time for 2 runs, with the possibility of a pit stop in between. However, the reduced time in Q2 and Q3 means that while 2 time laps are still possible, drivers won't have the luxury of stopping for fresh tires. The pressure is on to make the first run count. The introduction of the Sprint Shootout format adds another layer of complexity and excitement to the F1 weekend. With Saturday's events having no impact on Sunday's Grand Prix, drivers can focus on delivering their best performance during the F1 Sprint, without fear of compromising their entire weekend. The result? A more aggressive, heart-stopping racing experience for drivers and fans alike. The impact on drivers and teams. As we've seen, the Sprint Shootout in the revamped F1 Sprint format promises high-stake racing and heart-pounding excitement. But what does this mean for the drivers and their teams? Let's delve into the challenges and opportunities that this new format presents for them. First, we can't ignore the immense pressure on the drivers to perform under these new conditions. With the traditional qualifying and the Sprint Shootout now separated, drivers have to mentally and physically prepare for 2 high-intensity sessions. They must deliver their best on both Friday and Saturday, knowing that their performance in the shootout will directly impact their F1 Sprint starting position. This added challenge demands precision, skill, and the ability to adapt on the fly. But it's not just about the drivers. The teams also have their work cut out for them. The reduced practice time and the shift in focus to Saturday's events put a premium on strategy and decision-making. Teams must carefully analyze data from FP1 and quickly adapt their car setups, all while preparing for the sprint shootout in the F1 sprint itself. This whirlwind of activity calls for impeccable coordination and efficiency, as every minute counts. In the face of these challenges, the new format encourages drivers to push harder and take more risks during the F1 sprint. With no impact on Sunday's Grand Prix, the drivers have the freedom to unleash their full potential and fight for glory on Saturday. This fearless approach promises to deliver spectacular racing moments and unpredictable outcomes that will leave fans breathless. F1 sprint locations and schedule. With the challenges and opportunities laid out, it's time to mark our calendars and prepare for the thrill of the F1 sprint events. As mentioned earlier, the action kicks off with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku, setting the stage for a breathtaking start to the 2023 season. But Baku is just the beginning. Throughout the season, 5 more locations will hold F1 sprint events, bringing the total to 6 exhilarating races. While the full list of locations is yet to be confirmed, we can expect a diverse and exciting mix of tracks that will truly test the driver's mettle and showcase the best of Formula 1. Another crucial aspect of the F1 sprint weekends is the application of grid penalties. In this new format, grid penalties are still imposed for technical infringements, gearbox changes, and exceeding the allocated power unit components. However, they will now be applied to the starting position in the F1 sprint rather than Sunday's Grand Prix. This subtle change means that drivers and teams must weigh the pros and cons of taking penalties on Saturday, adding another strategic dimension to the already thrilling F1 sprint events. Fans' reactions and expectations. So, how are fans reacting to this groundbreaking new format? Suffice to say, they are thrilled. The F1 sprint concept was well received when it debuted in 2021, and now with more races with a revamped format, fans can't wait to see what unfolds. The anticipation is palpable, with social media abuzz with excitement and speculation. Fans are already speculating on how this change will impact the championship and individual driver performances. With the F1 sprint now a standalone event, we can expect to see some surprising outcomes and new rivalries emerge. The pressure is on for drivers to perform at their best, and every point matters in the race for the championship. But it's not just the championship that's up for grabs. The F1 sprint events themselves promise to be a spectacle like no other. With shorter races and more intense qualifying sessions, fans can expect heart-stopping moments and breathtaking overtakes. It's a high-stakes, high-reward format that is sure to captivate audiences around the world. Overall, the new F1 sprint format is a bold move by Formula 1 that promises to push the boundaries of what's possible in motorsports. There you have it, folks, the thrilling new F1 sprint format that's set to turn the world of Formula 1 on its head. With high-stakes qualifying sessions, heart-pounding races, and intense pressure on drivers and teams, we're in for an electrifying ride. Will this bold move redefine the sport as we know it? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, we're in for an unforgettable season. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share this video, and let us know in the comments what you think about the new F1 sprint format. Who do you think will rise to the challenge and make a mark on the championship this year? Share your thoughts and predictions below, and let's gear up for an exhilarating season of Formula 1.